Sandy Mason with the University of Illinois Extension as the State Master Gardener Coordinator, and I'm so glad you decided to join us. Here on Mid-American Gardener, we talk about all things gardening, and I know late season here, it always seems like such a bittersweet time. I'm kind of glad not to having to water my container plants so often, but then I'm so sad because now they're going to freeze, and then I always think that I need to bring them indoors, and I don't know, it's a tough time being a gardener, and cold is around the corner, right guys?
Absolutely.
Yeah, it is. And of course, so we have a great group of garden gurus, I guess, here, so that to help you out with your questions. And Dyke, so you have a question for us as well as why don't you introduce yourself?
All right, my name's Dyke Barkley, and I'm from the Paris area. I kind of wear two hats. I run my own place, Little Garden Center, Barkley Farms Nurseries. As well, I'm the horticulture instructor down at Lakeland College in Mattoon, Illinois. Kind of specialize in perennials and grasses and just kind of a plant geek. Like Sandy said, how many plants can you drag in for winter? When do you stop and say enough's enough? And I can't do that any better than most. Greenhouse is already overflowing and it's winter instead of spring. The first question I have here is on pink muhly grass. The email question said they started some plants from spring and they wanted to know they didn't get big enough, so they're wondering about how to take care of them this winter. And first comment I'm going to say is, before we get to the pictures, quit falling in love. The first thing, this plant is a beautiful pink plant, but it blooms. It's a grass that blooms in September, but it's a Zone 7 plant. So it's not winter hardy, although I'm hearing next door that somebody thinks they've seen one.
Today,
yeah. So that's thrown me off because I've messed with this plant and it didn't really have much success. The question I want to back up on is they want to know how to overwinter it. They were talking about grow lights. They were talking about south exposure window, but it's a non-hardy perennial. It's not a tropical plant. It's not an annual. So most of these, like most of the grasses, once they bloom, that part of that shoot is done. And so in order to get a bloom next year, the plant needs to get a little bit of cold, not ridiculous as Zone 7, but this plant could take down into the 20s. So this plant you would leave outside, get a frost on it, if you were trying to overwinter it, which I'm going to tell you is a hobby, not something serious I would try. They need to let it go dormant. They need to throw it in a garage somewhere and keep it as a dormant plant and then try to bring it out next year. Although, again, this is a plant that blooms in September, and I'm not sure, this would definitely be a hobby and not a full-time thing, I don't think. Because one of the problems with overwintering grasses is they get too root bound, so you would have to shave the roots next spring in order to keep it in that container. I don't know. I don't think it would be a successful thing. But could they keep it? Yes. Not as a houseplant. You want it to go dormant.
And there is that moment where you do have to sort of think about, is this something I can just start from seed again next year? Can I, are there other ways, maybe not bring it?
Or buy the plants early.
Or buy the plants
early.
again.
The
Buy them
problem
every
is
year.
I don't know how much they're sold this far north. I experimented with them because I had a salesman try and tell me from Carolina that they were best. I couldn't get them in quick enough and get them up. And then trying to sell a grass that doesn't bloom as an annual doesn't bloom to September, and everybody's kind of out of the annual.
Yeah. Good point. Good
So
point.
by
then.
Yeah.
I kept them in a greenhouse, but the greenhouse was heated to 30 degrees.
Right.
But
And I think that's another really good point, because sometimes I've heard people say they have a cute little oak tree that they haven't planted. It's in a container or something like that, and they want to bring it indoors like a house plant.
Right.
And we forget sometimes that those perennials, those plants that are used to being outdoors in the wintertime, have to go through those cold periods. So that is an important part of it. It's just those tropicals we can bring in, and they're pretty okay with that. Okay, good.
And then this would take really cold because Zone 7 is down into the teens, 20s, so it could, most garages wouldn't get quite that, I wouldn't think would get that cold.
So a challenge.
Challenge.
Gardeners love challenges.
Yeah.
Marty, and you have a question for us too, I think. Huh?
I do. My name is Marty Alanya. I'm a private landscaper. I don't have my own plant business like Dyke does, but Dyke, let's talk about microclimates.
We're just envying your greenhouse.
I just came from the clients today, and she has 3 of them. They're very large, they're very beautiful, but her microclimate is extraordinary. So these people who have this question, if you live on the prairie like I do, sorry.
That's where I live too.
Yeah. It's very windy, and it was very windy today, and in her backyard there was no breeze. I mean, it's just still, it was very, very quiet. So, it's a perfect spot, but she also does plant them on a raised bed. like an amazingly over mulched bed. So it's much higher than the lawn. So lots of mulch. I mean, try to really insulate it. Maybe it can be done. Pray for voles to die, that kind of thing. Okay, anyway, I have a question that also someone wrote in. They're going to be moving, they're going to add onto their house. Exciting. Hope your marriage survives that. In the spring, so I need to move a couple perennial beds this fall. With the hot weather and now rain, it's getting close to late October. Should I move the plants now or wait until after it has frosted? Is there anything extra I can do to give a good chance of surviving the winter? Okay, A, move the things that you know will survive if you're in a desperate hurry to do it. And, get some of it done now if you'd like. Now I'm talking about ferns, peonies, hosta, stuff like that, that are not going to die. They are just not going to die. Daylilies, you want to move those? Dig them up, stick them in. Make sure you water them really well. Make sure you mulch the snot out of them. The things that are a little iffier, might want to leave those in until April. Might want to. And obviously, you got some knowledge about what you're doing. So read the label, and see what can do it and what can't. Sure, save yourself some spring work, yeah, but be selective about what you pick up what you dig out, because things that are really dead hardy, go ahead and unplug them. But the stuff that's a little more iffy, you might want to leave that, or smaller.
So kind of a rule of thumb, I think, here for kind of this central Illinois or so, we probably think more like 1st of September or something might be a good time to be moving
that would have been better.
Perennials. So they have a time to get established. So
Yeah.
so we're kind of pushing a little bit late. So we always have to
It's
think
kind
about
of cooler because in September it's still hot. And people say, I
Right,
gotta
yeah,
wait
I
till it
know.
cools
Till
off.
it cools off, right.
By the
And
time
this
it
year
cooled
it's-
off this year, it was almost too late.
And
so.
it's cooling
Right.
currently, but also being a landscaper, I have been putting in bulbs after Thanksgiving the last few years in a row. So, again,
Okay.
lots of water, lots of mulch.
Okay, another challenge.
Indeed.
And Rusty, do you have a challenge for someone? Or?
Well, hopefully I'm going to make some things pretty.
Oh, that's good. We like that. We like that even better.
My name is Rusty Malding. I'm a partner and horticulturist with Nature's View out of Watseka, Illinois. I'm also the past president of Illinois Landscape Contractors Association. And whenever I think about fall, for some reason, ornamental grasses come to mind. And I've got 4 pictures I'd like to share with you today, some different options. These are all natives. And I'm going to start with the biggest first and work my way down in height. So this is a panicum, a switchgrass. This particular one is Northwind, which is a very tall, very columnar-like grass. This will get to be 6 to 8 feet tall. It is a native, and panicums are one of the most highly sought-after ornamental grasses or native grasses for butterflies. It supports the most butterfly, the widest range of butterflies over any other native grass.
I
So
did not know that.
people don't usually think of grasses as doing that, but this particular one is very good at it.
Wow.
One of the things I really like about them is that they will survive in a wide range of conditions. They like it dry, they like it wet, so you can use it in a rain garden. They'll tolerate clay soils, and they'll tolerate more sandy soils. It's a very versatile plant. The north one is a tall one, but they also will come in varieties such as Shenandoah, which is much shorter, more like 3 to 4 feet, nice sort of burgundy color. The next plant was little blue stem, and little blue stem has become one of my favorites. In our area, it's very sandy, and this particular one does well in a sandy soil. It likes it dry, massed. If you can get 7 or even 20 of these massed together, it just has a nice subtle wave as things are going. This is a warm season grass, so it does sort of take a little while to get going in the spring. The next plant is, Asparabolus. It's a prairie dropseed. Now, this is one that's sort of come on in the last few years as being fairly popular. When it starts to flower in July and into early August, it has a nice aroma. It's kind of sort of a buttery popcorn smell. It's more of an artistic plant. You can kind of see by the graceful arching habit. I like to use this a little bit further away from the walkway. We have 5 or 6 of these, probably 100 feet from our front door, and as soon as we walk out, I can smell it. It's a nice scent, but it can be a little overpowering if it's too close. And then the last one is just sort of something more unique. This is Side Oats grama, which is Truly a sort of if you're into native rehabilitation or restoration, this is a great plant to go to. Only 2 to 3 feet tall, likes sort of a gravelly, dry, limestoney type situation. This is actually planted next to a gravel driveway, limestone driveway. You can kind of see the little seed heads hanging there on the edge. This might be an option for like a parkway because it stays fairly low, and it does tend to self-sow. The other ones don't self-sow so bad, but this one you're going to have little baby Cytodes grama popping up kind of all over the place. So just some different options for you. As if you're walking around your garden right now thinking I need an ornamental grass someplace, one of these natives may be just the ticket you're looking for.
Okay, very good. Thank you very much, Rusty. And you have a nice selection there, and they're all native, and we have some great, actually. Now we have some nice cultivars of some of these native grasses. And I must admit, I have that Northwind switchgrass, and that is a gorgeous plant, and it stands up like a little soldier all season long, even in the winter, come springtime. So it's really a nice one as kind of a backdrop, not horribly tall. So you're really getting into ornamental grasses. Northwind switchgrass is really a nice one.
Nice
so
back border.
Yeah, back border. Really
You
very
need
well
little
behaved and very well behaved. So that's really a nice one. Okay, very good. Thank you very much. Always good to think about new plants. And we're going to go ahead and go to the phones. And we have Joanne in Springfield. And you planted some mums in August, it looks like?
Yes,
Kinda
and
late August?
I would just like to know what to do with them now. Do I need to cut them back, deadhead them, or what?
Good question. What do you do with mums this time of year?
I would make sure, again, I don't want to sound like a broken record here, but mulch is going to be really important. Make sure they're watered. We just had some rain in this area, but if you did not, make sure they're watered well. I would not cut them back. I find that my mums in central Illinois overwinter a lot more reliably if you don't cut them off. And they're not the prettiest things in the world for winter, but that upper growth dies back and it freezes. And it just looks branchy, but it's protecting the crown of the plant. So you're going to get a lot better chance of getting new little green leaves in the spring. So I would definitely mulch it, and I would definitely not cut it back until, May, April, or March, April.
I did hear Diane one time give an idea that I guess I have to admit she gave me is if that dead flower you couldn't stand that, she just went in and lightly cut them back and just let that fall on down. So you had that trash, you had the stems to kind of protect, but if that flower up there was driving you crazy, then go ahead and get rid of that. And then there isn't as much if that would be bothering you. But I definitely would leave the stems there. It seems to do much better.
Right.
All of mine have always done that. I've tried both ways in my yard and other people's, and
And kudos for you for planting them in late August, because most of the time people are like planting them like
After
the
they're half
1st
dead.
of
Yeah.
December, or they plant them the 1st of December because they've been decorating with them, and then they plant the
Yeah.
1st of December, and then they don't make it through the winter.
didn't come back,
So
I'm
kudos
shocked.
for going ahead and planting them early when you're available, and even in the springtime when you get some small ones, you plant them in the spring. So kudos for you. And on line 3, we have a Bill from Tolono, and you have a question about actually cutting back Korean lilacs.
Yes, I planted a row of them, and they're getting really tall. And I want to know if I can cut them back to about 3 feet.
Okay.
They're getting kind of woody.
Yeah. Good
Yeah.
thing to
Yeah,
think
they're
about.
tough.
they
Yeah.
are.
The sort of the misnomer with that one is it's the dwarf Korean lilac. And dwarf
Yeah,
may
oh,
be
I
a
know.
little bit of a misnomer.
6
I've
feet.
seen them be 12 feet tall and 12 feet wide. They can get huge. So you can hack them back, whatever. The one thing I would caution you on, if you trim it now, you are going to lose a flower for next spring. So typically what we do is we wait until right after they bloom in the spring, which is usually about the first, second week of May, if I remember right. And then
They're
just
a little later, maybe.
just whack them as soon as they're done. And then you get to enjoy the blossoms. If they're an impediment to your driveway or something like that, you may need to do it now, in which case I would wait another few weeks until it's dormant and they drop their leaves. It'll make cleanup a little bit easier.
No, very.
I've gone in and taken some big ones and taken anything that wasn't bigger than my finger. I mean, almost basically took it to ground. And you may find if yours are really big and really woody, 3 feet may leave you some big old stubs. So you may end up actually going lower and then letting the thing regrow.
A lot of times it looks better afterwards too.
Thinning them out, yeah. And I've seen people shear them, and I'm not a fan of shearing, and I'm guessing nobody at this table is either. But also you have to remember, Korean doesn't grow like the old farmhouse lilac, the old Syringa vulgaris. They get tall. They're much taller than their footprint is wide. But Koreans tend to grow just in a ball, you know, and they're really beautiful. They bloom a little later, but they do get a lot bigger than the label says they will.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like Dag said, and Rusty too, take out the big wood, or take out, you know, look at it before you look down in there and try to get the biggest stuff out, and you'll just kind of reduce it that way. And then you can go back once the big wood is out and take off anything that's straggling and sticking out, kind of, you know, shape it up a little bit.
I think boiling it down is that's a tough plant, and we're saying you can do a lot to it
Yeah.
and still have good luck.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
about
not a
like you want
finicky
'em as-
plant. So yeah.
Right. But the big thing is, if you prune it now, you're going to be pruning out the flower buds.
Yeah.
So it's not
Well,
going
see,
to
I-
kill it, but
I
you
still
know.
would though go in and say, somebody,
Yeah.
if you got big overgrown plants, I would give
Yeah.
up 1 year's of bloom and fix the
Right.
plant.
That's what I think sometimes is.
Because
it's worth
sometimes
it.
I've gone
Sometimes
in
it's not
after
the
it's
same.
done
Yeah.
blooming, and we get an early summer drought, and then you're double
And they
whammering
really
the plant.
suffer.
If you can't,
That's
because I had somebody say, well, I can't water it.
That's true.
Then I want to prune it early so it
Dormant
regrows
season.
while it's got some weight. So it may depend a little bit. If that hedge is out in Timbuktu and you couldn't water it, then I would prune early and sacrifice the flowers.
Right. Good
Good
ideas.
point.
You know, it always is one of those times. It's just this is when we start thinking about pruning and what you need to prune.
Yeah.
So start making those notes about what you need to prune, when you need to prune them, because this is when it's in your mind. So good, very good. Thanks for that question. And Tony from Mount Auburn wants to know about a flowering pear tree. How much to take off? So again, some more pruning questions. So Tony, online.
Yeah,
too?
about 2-3 days ago, we had some high winds, and I lost a real big section out of one of my flowering pear trees, and it's kind of whopper jawed right now. So, how much can I take out of it and still be safe? It's approximately about a 30 feet tall flowering pear tree.
You're past the point of wondering how much to take off now. When something breaks off, you just have to take it out. Try to take a clean cut where it broke off, and then you just kind of have to go from there. So generally the rule of thumb is 1/4 to 1/3, no more. So ordinarily, if you're just pruning it because it's too big or it's too scraggly or it's too low or whatever, take it off, keep your eye on the pile on the ground. If it's getting to be about 1/3 of the tree, stop. But when you have something broken, you just have to clean it up as best you can.
So is
And,
this
you know,
So is this the flowering pear? So it's not when you get fruit or
Yeah,
anything off of, I
flowering pear
assume.
tree,
So,
yeah.
I just want to make sure. So because it is one of those things, you know, they're notorious, especially like Bradford
For
pears, and
breaking,
some of those are just
yeah.
notorious for
Yeah.
just breaking apart. They have way too many stems, and they
Yeah.
just break apart. And so, unfortunately, that's a really common thing with
is.
some
And
of
so
those flowering
usually
pears.
that broken part is more than you should have pruned in the first place. So
Right, right.
So
Exactly.
going in
So
and
that's
doing
why
more,
it's a
more
huge-
pruning is just
Yeah.
not gonna.
So
'cause
that's
that,
when you have to decide
that
if
thing
it's
will
really
go into shock and send a bunch of sucker
Yeah.
shoots that don't flower,
Yeah.
and then you just.
So sometimes I know it's sort of like thinking about, is this really something I even want to keep?
Yes,
I mean, is
exactly
this
right.
even aesthetically pleasing? Because now half of the tree's gone, and so sometimes you have to evaluate it that way too.
Or start making a plan, knowing that hey, maybe
Right.
the other third will break out. So let's get what I'm going to, what's going to go nearby, or what am I going to
Yeah.
use to slowly give yourself a year or two to replace.
Right.
it would
right.
be a lot easier, Tony, if we had a picture of the tree,
Oh.
so we knew just how much damage had been done to the poor thing. But yeah, they're notorious for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah. So yeah, sorry about that, but oh well. That's just
it's hard
the way
to
it
say.
goes. Anyway, it's a shopping opportunity. That's what I always say. It's new shopping for a new tree. Okay, anyway. Okay, so on line 4 we have Dennis from Bloomington about trimming hostas for the winter. So that's always a good question. So Dennis, do you have a question about trimming hostas?
Yes. For winter, is it better to cut the leaves off or wait till spring?
Good question for this time of year. Cleanup in the perennial garden.
I don't know if we're all going to have. I don't like doing anything now.
I never.
I mean,
No.
not from a laziness, but I'd rather leave it on and leave
Yeah.
foliage, and I'm not a fan of cleaning in the fall.
No.
Not that I'm really
Nor
picking
am
on
I.
hostas.
So
but
I'm gonna depart
Okay.
because
You
hostas
have the
look
right.
dreadful along with daylilies and a few other plants
Yeah,
in the
that's
winter
true, they do.
because they just look sad and pathetic and you feel bad for them. So and hostas are pretty tough, and so rather than look at that and be miserable for this poor plant that's out there in the landscape, we do cut back pretty much like all daylilies and hostas back to the ground in the fall. But most of the other plants we do try to leave until the winter.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
maybe more where I'm being worried because I drove by some yard just like yesterday, and the whole yard had been cut back
Yeah.
already. I mean, they'd cut in everything, whether it was an ornamental grass or it didn't matter. Everything in the entire yard had already been cut back to spring cutting. And then, so I didn't,
Marine.
and that actually doesn't help some plants. It can actually,
Yeah.
you took off their winter coat.
Yeah. And also it's to me, I think it's something to look at in the wintertime.
Right.
Especially like the ornamental grasses.
Right.
Now, obviously
Right.
with the hostas, I agree with you. They don't look all that pretty in the wintertime. So I'm with you on that one. But for some things like purple coneflower and ornamental grasses and some of those, I think they look nice and there's no really reason to take them down. The only thing I would say is if you have on hostas, because they do get some leaf disease problems. So if you've had any kind of disease like spots or anything where you're a little bit concerned that maybe there might have been some diseases, that's definitely something that we want to get that foliage out of there. And I think that's a pretty good
true.
rule of thumb
Right,
when you
right.
say for most
That's true.
plants, just to get that stuff like peonies or other
Peonies,
notorious
coreopsis.
one, things that might have had a disease problem, get it out of there. Because often a fungus will overwinter and then you just have it for next year right there to
Right.
be infected again. So that would probably be the one thing that I would probably say.
It's a
But
fine line, but
if the
sometimes
hostas are healthy and you don't, they're not where you have to look at them every day.
And you don't have a big heart like Rusty where you feel sorry for the hosta. I'm so
Whatever.
sorry, hosta. that it's
And really,
cold.
what hosta eventually does is they just lay down flat.
Yeah, they just flatten
And
out.
in my garden that desperately needs mulch, I'm sorry, they do a lot of weed control because the leaves are big. Thank you.
Yeah.
Works really well.
So that's the other thing. So are there some other plants that you really like to make sure that you just don't trim back, or you just feel like they actually do better? Like perennials, I guess we're mainly
Butterfly
talking about.
bush is the big one to me
Yeah.
because
Sure.
butterfly bush being a semi-shrub, I've seen a lot of times especially when the branches are still green like they are this year because we haven't got cold yet, you trigger the buds to start swelling down at the ground. So you've cut that plant back, may not notice anything, but again and again, I've seen where the buds start to swell and then they start to grow. And I think the other thing that I would worry, we've had in the years, I sound like an old timer, we've had some very warm Decembers before.
You sure
And so
have.
some
We've had
things,
some
now that we
warm
got
Decembers.
rain and got 60-degree December, things think it's spring sometimes. So butterfly bush is the biggie though to me.
Yeah.
And we have some open lines now, so if anybody wants to go ahead and give us a call right now, we'd be glad to take your call before the end of the show. So that would be one. I would also think about maybe lavender would be another one that I
yeah.
wouldn't
Oh,
I
yeah.
wouldn't really
Yeah.
put. So kind of those almost sub-shrubs sometimes we
Right.
call them, that have those kind of woody stems like butterfly bush and lavender, maybe coreopteris, I don't know, caryopteris, sometimes people,
Yeah.
that
I
would be
usually
another one
leave-
that I usually leave
I
and
leave
don't
it.
trim back.
Yep.
the geraniums, all your heuchera,
geraniums
Yeah.
and heuchera.
you know,
Yeah, the
or,
perennial geraniums.
so
I
anything
leave a
that's
still be up.
semi-evergreen.
I leave a still be.
So basically, we
I leave
A lot of things.
yeah.
other than
almost,
the sad hostas.
almost
that
anything in the
Sorry
shade
for.
garden, Solomon seal, any of those.
Yeah. Okay, good. So it's
my.
nice to leave a few things maybe for spring. So okay. On line 2, we have Jane from Hoopson who has a question about horseradish. Horseradish opportunity to plant and trim. So you have a question for us about horseradish?
Yes. Hello?
Sure.
Hi. My question is, should I be cutting it back at this point? And secondly, can I still dig it up at this point?
okay.
Because I heard you're not supposed to dig them up in months that end in R.
My
gotta be a
grandmother
old
said
wives'
you
tale.
can go barefoot in a month with an arm, but she's dead. So, okay.
Which has nothing
don't
to
know.
do, and I'm sure it wasn't from horseradish that she died from. So
Yeah, I don't think
we'll
that's
move
what
on
killed her.
with that one. So horseradish, does anybody
No, I
grow
don't- I
too
don't.
much of horseradish? I
do
don't think you
not.
can hardly kill the stuff.
Yeah, I was
number
going to
one,
say,
but
don't worry about killing it. So I've tried.
I'm not that familiar with
yeah,
it.
so generally, but I think from what I've seen is you're absolutely right, and that's generally what I've always gone by, is that generally you're in those warmer months like July, August would be the time that you typically would dig it up, but I doubt that you could really kill the thing. So, but that would be the time when we would think about harvesting. It would be in those months. So I don't know, are you thinking about dividing it? Is that what you were thinking of, moving it, or?
No, it's actually in an old horse tank
Oh,
because I didn't want it to spread other places.
yeah.
Good idea.
Smart.
Good idea, yeah.
But is it? I couldn't understand you. Can I dig it up now or not dig it up now?
You mean like to use the roots?
To move it? Yeah, I guess that's what
No,
we were
to
asking.
use it.
Yeah, to use it. I don't
So
know.
generally, to harvest, generally we would not do it this time of year.
You would not.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
It'd be in those July, just like, see, sometimes what we call
Yeah.
wives' tales or husbands' tales are actually true. So generally we would think about, May, June, July, August,
Yeah.
those kind of months.
summer months.
For harvesting.
But if you have a boatload of it and you're really dying for some horseradish,
Yeah.
That's true.
Again, I don't think you can kill it.
yeah, it's not gonna
So you're not gonna hurt it
expire.
any.
I'm almost positive. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, hopefully that helps a little bit. Horseradish. Generally, you have more horseradish than you ever want after
yeah.
you get it in your yard. So that's absolutely true. Okay, that was very good. So, and we're kind of running out of time here, but certainly if we didn't get a chance to get to your question, check us out on Facebook. You can email us. So we really had a great time. A lot of good conversation. I'm so glad. And I have my list ready for the things that I'm supposed to do, like get rid of the hosta leaves and things like that so that Rusty doesn't feel bad for the hosta that's in my
come by, I
yard.
feel better.
So thank you. Oh yeah, then you'll feel better. Oh, thank you all very much, and I hope you all have a great week gardening, or at least thinking about gardening. Take care.